What's up, everybody? It's Justin back here with another episode of the Director's Cut. Coming to you, coming to you now. We're just gonna get this show on the road. We got a fun guy coming up, and I'm excited. So, hey guys, Justin with NYKBF, featuring the next tournament trail in our series. Awesome. All right, we came right back. Nice. Welcome back, Justin. Welcoming in another tournament director from Queen City, kayak bass fishing, Vinny Ferreri, right?
Ferreri.
What the hell's wrong with me, man?
Still with the commish.
There you go, commish. I like it. I've tried to get my crew to call me a cool nickname, but they won't do it.
It'll come. It took a couple of years.
Yeah. Vinny, welcome, man. Thank you for joining me.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me. That intro was cool. I like that.
Thanks. It's a lot of me. I don't really care for that too much, but that's all right. So, Vinny, tell me a little bit about Queen City. We'll get into the details and stuff in a little bit. Just give me the rundown, quick one.
Yeah. So we're your typical grassroots series here in North and South Carolina. We started right around Charlotte, but we're a little bit bigger than that now.
That's awesome. Yeah, you got a couple trails that you sent me.
Yeah, this year we expanded. Here we grow, and we're running 3 separate series. All roads lead to the TOC this year. So It's 3 separate series, but they all tie into the big championship, and so far we're off to a good start.
Nice. So we're all about the beginnings. I am all about how much work it takes to start a trail and to get it going. Tell me about I'm assuming you were with it from the beginning.
Yeah, it's my baby.
Awesome. Tell me about that first year. Tell me about the year prior to that made you think, let's do it.
So it all usually starts from the angling standpoint, right? So you're an angler, you're going out, you're competing, and for whatever reason, you want either something different or more, or for me, it was location. I wanted something centralized to Charlotte. We have a abundance of great water within an hour of our beautiful city here. And we didn't really have a competitive series. We had some groups that were fishing, but we didn't have that high level competition, big money, championship qualification feeling here in Charlotte. And I'm a diehard competitor. I am a PE teacher by nature. I've been competing since 5th grade with CYO basketball. So I am a competitor, and the whole groups and hang out and fish for a few bucks really wasn't my path. So I started competing on a few series around the Carolinas, and then decided that Charlotte needed its own. So we started small. We fished Lake Wiley for our first event. That's right here in my backyard, and it splits the border, North and South Carolina. Okay. And we had, I don't remember the exact number, but I think the first year we averaged 27 guys across the season. So, this was 9 years ago now. It was different. Now if you're not pulling 100, it's almost like, what are you doing? But back then, 27 was decent. And, we've shown growth every year for 9 straight years. So I think we're doing something right. And we're a lot bigger than we were back then.
That's awesome. So we'll dive in a little bit about that growth in a second. But talk about, I know you said 3 trails that you're starting. Talk about those as far as regional aspects of it. Like, I know you said it's you got one that has a Western Carolina, South Carolina, and then your main one. So talk about what those encompass.
So I gotta talk about numbers before we get there. So and locations. We fish for the last 4 years, I believe, we've been fishing 10 main trail events a year. We
Okay.
count your top 7. We have some amazing lakes here in North Carolina. We have lakes that are right on either side of the border, some both borders. And then we have names of lakes that you probably heard of in New York, Lake Hartwell, Santee Cooper, Lake Murray. These are big name lakes that are within driving distance of where we all are located. So we had to fish them as well. So we're blessed with amazing bodies of water, but it starts getting us away from Charlotte and the Queen City, which is fine. But we started to reach different groups of people in different areas of the states. And you may get a guy in South Carolina who fishes every event for him that's within an hour, but that might only be 4 events. And then you get a guy in the mountains who fishes every event of Queen City, but that may only be, within an hour, but that may only be the 3 times we go to Lake Norman. So I was like, how can we get these guys fully involved and give them a real opportunity to put themselves in a championship? I pride myself on our championship. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's a really cool event. We can touch on that in a second if you're cool with that.
Of course.
But I wanted to give different batches of anglers an opportunity to make it without having to commit to all 10 events here in the Charlotte area. So
I love it.
I sat down with my guy, my team. I say my team, but it's really just me and one guy.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on this show. Talking at 11 o'clock at night, usually when I'm pacing the corner on the street. And I was like, well, we got to give the guys in the South because there's already a few clubs down there. These guys travel to fish our stuff. And then we have it's a small group. It's like a group of 20 or so people who live in the mountains, but they fish everything they can. And they have some great water as well. And I was like, we got to give those Western guys an opportunity too. So
yeah,
I went and we came up with this idea of 4 events in the West, 4 events in the South, but they still have to fish 4 events of the main series to show they're committed to the club to qualify for the championship. So season 1 this year, in order for you to get in without being in the main series, you have to be a top 3 angler in the West, a top 3 angler in the South, and then you still have to at least compete in 4 main series. There's a little asterisk there. If I'll just use a big number, I really don't know what's going to happen. So let's say there's 80 anglers in the South, which is possible. There's 80 anglers in the South that fish at least 3 of the 4 and fish the 4 mains. We're going to take 10% of those. So we're going to take 8 instead of 3 into the championship. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. It's our first year we're growing. We moved into what some may consider enemy territory. There's some clubs down there that do things a little bit different than we do. So I don't really know, but I can tell you we had some easy numbers for the West. We figured if we averaged 30 in the mountains, we were doing something. And we opened up the West last weekend with 55.
That's awesome.
I got a feeling it's all going to work out.
Yeah. I tell you, I like seeing it's a lot different up here. It doesn't feel that far away, but man, you're having February, March events is making me very jealous.
So we always open in February. One year we were crazy and we opened in January. So,
really?
But we opened February 4th and we had 131 on Lake Norman.
That's amazing.
So, awesome. It was pretty good. And then we followed it up 2 weeks later with 55, and the 2 weeks later was February 18th, and it was cold. It was 28 degrees when we launched, and it was chilly, but we were in the mountains too. So but the reason we went to that body of water is because it has a hot hole. So one end of the lake is 70 degrees, that's where I fished.
That's
awesome. It all worked out, even though it was a little on the chilly side.
Hey, I mean, but you got people that are coming out there for them. So, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yes. Opportunity.
Yeah. So, what did you feel that first year? Let's go back and let's dive into, the very beginning. What was you set out with that mindset that you wanted to have that high payout, high, competitive kind of trail. Was that what you were attracting with other people too? Was that the impression that you were getting the people that were coming back, was they wanted that the competitive trail, and or
So the main reason we started was location, right?
oh yeah, okay.
But deep in here with the way I function is you got to give a product that's worth coming for. So
Mm-hmm.
since day one, I've always been about the angler. It's always been about what can I do behind the scenes to make it better for the guy that's showing up, right?
Nice.
So
Yeah.
not taking money out of the pot, keeping things affordable, not year one, but paying out more than what's coming in, stuff like that, right? Are you giving out trophies? Because guys like trophies, whether they admit it or not. Are you giving out, whatever it is? Like, you have to put a product out there to attract people. So location was huge because there wasn't anything like that here. So that, I had to step up simply from right there. And I went in, and my wife was next to me when we started, and she's still here. Obviously, she works for me.
Okay.
And
Careful.
well, I was like, we're not going to do anything big. We're not going to go stress major sponsors. We're going to get out there and we're going to fish. And my God, has that changed? But it, we grew slowly, and I did that on purpose. I didn't want to go about it the wrong way. I didn't want to push people off. We grew slow. We grew under control. We kept things stable. And we went from 27 to last season, we averaged 116 for over 11 events throughout the year, which is the part that people don't really understand, right? They can say, oh, we average 100. That's cool. You have 3 events a year. Right. So we average 116 over 11 events a year. So it's a lot. And
that's awesome. That's awesome.
And we've taken that same mentality of what's your product, right? Is your product good? And we've, in my opinion, and the anglers are still here, so I'm going to assume their opinion, it's only gotten better. So now, not only are you getting cool prizes, but you're getting guaranteed money, you're getting big payouts, you're getting a minimum of $1,000 added to the purse every month, and that's great support from sponsors and companies. That's not me throwing money in. That's amazing people around us. So
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I never really had this goal when I started, right? I didn't think I was going to be on my 3rd podcast this week. That was never a thing. It was, I just want to give guys a place to fish. Hell, I want to fish. I wanted to fish locally in Charlotte, my water. I didn't want to keep driving across the state. But again, we went slow, and every year we threw a little something different and a little growth and a little further and another event. And here we are, 3rd podcast this week with another 2 next week.
That's funny.
And
That's awesome.
Queen City is blessed beyond anything I can sit here and explain to you.
That's cool. Yeah, I love to hear that. And and you're right. It's all about the product. I mean, it's really people. If they don't like what you're putting out there, if you don't like the trail that you're building, the dates that you're hitting it, and people don't realize that there's a lot of stress in building that upcoming year. And I feel you to be adding 2 more trails. I mean, that's some pressure.
So we went from the normal 10 main events, plus there's others that we haven't spoke about yet, but the 10 main ones. So now we have 18 main ones. So we borderline doubled in size, even though we know those other ones won't be as large. Well, the South's going to be big, but they won't be. In theory, they won't be as large. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of help from everybody, whether they're on team or they're just a guy who shows up early. If you show up early and you offer hands, you're getting work. Put the banner up, hit the table, get the trophies out. Like, my daughter's full time, and she's 10. So it's a lot, man. But at the end of the day, it may bring stress, but it's all worth it. We all have a good time. The guys are loving it, and they keep coming. So we're gonna keep rolling.
And do you breathe, or do you push that kind of competitive nature in the trail series? Do you prefer it to be kind of like a camaraderie based, or community building, or do you say it's competitive?
So it's hard for me to talk about me without sounding like a cocky.
It's all right, man. You put the work in. You put out the product.
People have told me that I've done it, and I don't know how we as a club have done it, but we are extremely competitive. with the ultra camaraderie right there with it. And I don't really know if I did it, how I did it, just natural, right? So, but let me tell you, you could show up tomorrow down here with no kayak, no rod, no reel, and you'd be fully rigged to go fishing Saturday with us. And that's just the way this club is. Monday through Friday, the day before an event, you may not get a GPS location. You may not get a pin to a ramp where they're biting, but you're also not going to get ignored, you know? And then the beauty of what we do is almost all of our events have venues and weigh-ins. So you learn so much from the veteran, the guys that have been doing this for years at the weigh-in. Nobody walks around with their pinky in the air, with their nose in the air. Nobody gets snubbed. You know, we have new guys that learn more in one weigh-in than they've learned in the last year of fishing. And I try to tell them, like, you're $65. Fishing's a bonus. Just the knowledge you're going to get from being out there and hanging out with guys like me who've been on the water for so long. Your $65 is so worth it. Plus, you might win $2,000 today.
Yeah,
but the knowledge you're going to get is so worth it. So I've never really pushed the ultra competitive, but we have proven as a club that we can go anywhere and be competitive. And I'm going to just shout two guys out real quick. KBF was on Murray today. One of our top guys finished 7th, and he's 4th going into tomorrow. And he won Big Bass, and he won the event last year. And the other guy is in 10th for today, and he got paid as well. So, you know,
congrats to them.
On the national scene. We had guys last week cut checks on the national scene. Like, we are ultra competitive, but you're never going to get snubbed around here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing. I think that attracts a lot more people than we realize, is that openness and that community where it welcomes people of all different kind of levels of expertise or experience.
So there's something else that we do that we built really for the newer guy. We have a team division within the main series. So you always have, if you choose to be in a team division, it's a small fee. It's $250 for the team for the year. Which is not a lot. I mean, that's not a lot of money for 10 events. You always have someone to plan with. You always have someone to fish with if you choose to fish together. You always have someone midday. You're like, yo, dude, what are they biting on? I'm really struggling. Hey, I'm catching them on Thursday. Right? So you always have someone who's got your back. Whether you win that little bit of money for the team division for the day or not, you always have someone to talk to. And I really think that's an interesting concept. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we have 19 teams signed up right now. We've only had one event. So technically it's open until the 4th event because we allow you to drop 3. So I think we'll break the 20 mark. And if we do, we'll take 5 teams to the championship. We do a team championship running coincide with the main championship. But I really do think the team thing it's huge for new guys and guys who may not be the guy who's getting a $2,000 check every week, right? But it gives him a reason to come fish and maybe win something and sneak into that championship and fish for big money. And we always say it's just 4 bites. We're a 4-fish limit. So it's just 4 bites, man. You know, you get into that championship, you may not beat the 2 big names, but it's just 4 bites. You can do it.
I love that. Yeah, that team division is very interesting. That's pretty cool. That's a cool concept. I love that.
Shout out to Rock Outdoors for the team division.
There you go. Yeah, I'll hype up those guys later. But yeah, so I wanna do a screen share here real quick with, and I want to pop up your schedule. Cool. Because I would like to. Well, it might be on here. It might not be. But let's. Takes me just over a second to do this because I'm not that fast, but there we go. So here's the main schedule. And I'll go back and forth with the other ones here too, but we'll talk about the upcoming schedule a little bit, but it might be on here. I want to know, you know, I see the awards in the background of your screen here. I see, you know, that big one up on top above your head there. Your fishing career, what was your favorite fishing tournament that you've ever done? And it doesn't have to be yours. It doesn't have to be yours, but I mean, bonus points if it was, I guess, but.
Well, so I'm going to start by saying I no longer fish Queen City.
Okay.
I had to step away and focus on the business side of it all because we got so big.
I respect that. I respect that. I think that's the right way to do it.
I was going to step away 2 full years ago, and I had the worst fishing year of my life. And I was like, there's absolutely no way I can step away now. I have to just prove that I still know how to catch fish. I had a good year, so I stayed one more year. But yeah, I've officially stepped away. Man, I can't. Oh man, this is a hard one. I don't get asked this one very often. Good job, Justin. I can't really nail it down to one event. I guess. Well, I'm just gonna step on your toes. I'm gonna say 2 things. I've really enjoyed pushing myself to see if I could qualify on the national level with the Hobie series. I made the TOC 2 years ago, and I was going to step away because I had a rough TOC. I was right there to cut a check, and I had a fish that was 7/8 of an inch too short. Cost me a couple grand, and I was done. And then the fire got relit in the off season, and I was like, you know what? I need to prove to me that I belong in the room with the 50 best in the country. So I got to give it one more shot. And last season I did it, and I made it again. I'm going to show these off. So that's got to be my favorite overall is right there. The fact that I was able to do this big. 2 years in a row against, I mean, this is the gold standard in my opinion. So, you know,
good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Put the directing hat to the side, hit the road as much as I could with a real job and do that. So that's my big memory. Now, my favorite memory is, I guess, 2 of them. My largest limit ever in an event was like 106.75. I have it here. 105.75. Actually, I think I did that twice. Yeah. So that one was pretty freaking awesome. I had like, I think it was 16 fish over 20 inches in one day.
Jesus.
And then the check above my head should have been a lot bigger, but that was day 2 last year at Santee, and I did the same thing. I had 105.75, I think, or it might be 105.25. AJ will get on here and tell you at some point. And I had, I think, 12 over 20 that day. So those are amazing tournaments.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine that.
I was sliding 20s off the board, and my buddy was sitting right there. My buddy Matt, shout out to Matt. And he's like, how big was that one? I was like, man, it was just 20.25. It was too small. And he had like a 13-incher in his limit still. And he's like, you son of a...
There's so many people listening right now that are just hating on you so much.
Oh, man.
Especially up here in the Northeast. They're just...
Well, yeah, and that's another thing. You go to Santee, you expect to catch a handful of 20s over a weekend. But yeah, it was just the day 1 I got screwed. Well, not really got screwed. I just sucked, I guess. My creek, they dropped the water in my creek, and I couldn't relocate my fish. I had 98 inches in practice 5 days before that. My fish moved. I struggled. I only put 4 keepers on the board. So I changed ramps day 2, and I put up 105, and I was able to do that out of 200 people. So, you know, that's got to be top of my list right there. Hanging out with Matt all day. He put up 97 with a 13-incher, and I put up 105 right next to each other.
With a 13-incher?
Yeah, you want me to add to that story? He's going to hate it if I add to it.
If you want to.
So my other buddy, Queen City guy, comes around the bend, and I'm running low on a bait that I'm using. And I'm like, yo, Skip, you got any of these things I need, man? He opens his box. And this is Queen City right here. This is the definition of Queen City. He's like, he opens his box, and he's like, take what you need. And I was like, dude, like if I lose one, he's like, Vinny, just take what you need. So I grabbed 2, and I was like, listen, if I don't use them, I'll give them back. He's like, what are you doing? I said, here, put this on. Now, all these rules are different. I can't do this year with Hobie.
Yeah, granted.
Yeah, put this on and make a cast. He stuck a 21-incher first cast right behind me and right behind Matt, who had a 13-incher at the time. Matt's look, you could feel the look. And I wouldn't look at him. I was like, nah, dude. His look, I'll never forget it. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. But yeah, Skip stuck his personal best right next to us. I got 105. Matt's got 97. I get back to the ramp, and I'm like, oh, you know, this. if for those of you who don't fish the Hobie Bass Open Series, I know they don't come Northeast very often. AJ texts you if you made the award ceremony. So I'm sitting there and I'm on the phone with my wife. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I had 57 day one. I don't know. And then I was like, babe, I got to go. He just called me. And I was lucky enough to do it. So, but yeah, awesome. That's got to be top of the list.
Congratulations. That's one hell of a story.
Thanks.
Sheesh. You found the right spot. That's for sure.
I came and fished up in your neck of the woods with Hobie last year in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
They'll be up here in June. So
I can't do it. We got a Queen City event. You got the schedule right there, June 24th. I was looking at it.
Lake Norman again.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I mapped it from my sister's house. I was going to come up to my sister's and double dip, take a ride, and come back. That's what I do with New Hampshire. And then I looked at my schedule, and it doesn't work. So I'm taking it easy this year. I'm focusing on Queen City as far as the business side of it. So
yeah, go figure. I worked with AJ and my local chamber for months. To try to get them to come up to New York and to check out Cuba Lake, and worked it out back and forth. And then all of a sudden AJ calls me or texts me and he's like, we're coming June 24th. June 24th is the one day of the summer that I am out of state. And I was like, I'm sitting here like, do I have to be selfish? Like, can I be like, can we just move it like one weekend? But I'm actually going to be in North Carolina. I'm going down to the Outer Banks. That's what I do. I go every year. I go to the Outer Banks for a week.
We'll ride inland and fish the Norman event.
I know.
4 hours or so from there.
We might have to talk about it because that's doable for me.
I'll deliver everything you need.
I'll have everything. I bring all my stuff down every year. We do some brackish water. I got a couple nice reds last year when I went down. Yeah. So it's definitely a fun trip, but
can I give a story about something similar to what you're doing?
Sure.
We're just chit-chatting, right? No schedule.
No schedule. We're hitting all the talking points, so go for it.
So I fished 5 Hobies and I thought I was going to miss the TOC by a handful of points. I was furious. I had a bad outing up in Pennsylvania, and I called my buddy and I was like, yo, let's get a flight to Wisconsin. He's like, Wisconsin? That was the last event of the year.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know, man. That's my only shot to get in. And I said, at this point, I don't know how many thousands in the hole, so I might as well at least try to get in. I booked a flight on Wednesday night. Well, Wednesday afternoon. The cutoff was Wednesday night to sign up for Wisconsin. I booked a flight Wednesday afternoon with no plan, no fishing gear, no hotel, nothing. And my Queen City angler who had recently moved to Indiana called another Queen City angler, the guy Matt who I was just talking about, who had recently moved to Michigan. Now, they did this behind my back. Joel was like, I'm going to drive 3 hours and meet you in the middle. Matt said, I'll drive 3 hours and meet you in the middle. Joel gave Matt all his fishing gear, his Slayer mat, 8 rods, reels, lures, everything. And I showed up. I landed in Wisconsin Friday morning, and we went fishing Saturday. I had no idea about the Wolf and Fox River. Nothing.
No way.
All I know is I needed a top 20, and I finished 21st. That's what put me in. So it was that's at the top. I got some good memories, man. That's at the top, and that was a full weekend with Matt, and I couldn't have did it without Joel. So huge shout out to those guys. But yeah,
I love that. Isn't that something about the kayak fishing community that you build? I mean, it's just, the people that you meet and everything. Everybody's out for a good paycheck and everybody's that, but man, if everybody would just they just give you their last buck if they could. And and
we're surrounded by that here in the Carolinas. We really
love that. I love that. So let's get back to running the club a little bit. Let's get back to that because I mean it's what do you think? Talk about the work that you got a family affair and you say it's just 3 trails with just you and one other person. Give them a shout out too if you don't mind. But talk about that workload that you do year round to just make that trail successful.
So there are other people involved. Those other guys, they all have individual jobs. So Ryan Brenneman runs the YouTube for us.
Okay.
He takes anything we film as far as like, this is not a podcast. I've been running the show that I'm calling This Is Not a Podcast because I don't really want to schedule it and call it a podcast.
I like
So
that.
this is not a podcast we've been doing every other Monday night. So he takes those and he uploads them to YouTube, and then he takes our weigh-ins on StreamYard. He uploads them to YouTube. So Ryan Brenneman, Hook Sets with Ryan. He's got a great YouTube channel himself. You guys should check it out. I wish I had a link. We'd throw it up here, but I don't. We got another guy, Mark.
We can post it below.
Yeah, we can do that. Mark runs the TikTok and the Instagram because I just don't have time to address another platform. So he takes care of anything that makes sense from Facebook to put on other platforms. He does all that for us. So huge shout out to Mark. Mark also helps me with some Excel stuff, mastering our payout schedule. So I'm not sitting there with a calculator and it all works out. We got Ryan Hulsey, who is my tried and true real co-commish. He's the guy who gets the 10 o'clock. I want to take over the Carolinas phone call. He runs all the standings, all the Excel spreadsheets, all the Bassmaster qualifications, all the championship qualifications, all the Never Give Up awards, all the most improved awards. He runs anything numbers related. An event finishes, he jumps on Tourney X. Shout out to Dwayne. He hits export standings, and within 2 hours, the brand new standings are posted on Facebook. So he's a genius with all that stuff, and he's the one who has to either ground me or tell me, let's do it. Let's go for 20 events. And I'm like, well, if I do 20, that means you got to do 20 because I need 20 standings. And he's like, I got you. Don't worry about it. So huge shout out to Ryan. Awesome. I did hire, obviously, my wife, tremendous shout out. She's always on board for whatever's going on, whether we're traveling 3 hours like we just did to the mountains or we're traveling 3 hours to Santee or whatever we're doing. If my daughter is not either fighting in Taekwondo that day or playing in a softball tournament, they are both there. Cool. So, and if she is in a softball tournament and I have to miss something, she takes care of that for me. So huge shout out to her. And then I did hire somebody who we're calling Coco, a new co-commish this year, Mr. Blaine Upton. And Blaine is going to run the Southern Division this year for us. Okay. I'm going to be alongside him this year, but he is the face. And then hopefully next year I'm completely hands off and he can do it without me being there. That's the goal. Not that I don't want to be there, but all those events are 2 to 3 hours away from me. So if I can get to the point where Blaine can run things without me, then that's the goal. And then hopefully we're in a position next year where we can expand on the divisions. You know, if sponsors are happy with our product and anglers are coming to our events, then we'll look to expand next year. But it's a lot of work. I mean, all that's a lot of work. I know you wanted me to touch on how much work it is. It is.
You did. I know you did. I think that's you can't talk about it better by highlighting the amount of people and the amount of I mean, when you said just you and one other person, I don't want to tell you what happened, but to my body, but but no, that's awesome. I mean, having a solid crew around you, having the family that supports you, you need it. I think. I mean, it's a lot of work, man, for just the side gig that we're doing.
You know, if you're a director who is watching this and you want to start a series, I don't want to scare you off. If you're content with 20 to 40 guys, that's something you can still fish. You can still keep track on a note card of your standings, and you can just do it yourself. If you, whether intentionally or unintentionally, grow to the scale that we are now, where we're paying out $130,000 a year in profits, in earnings. Right. You can't do that alone. You got to have people around you that are willing to work for and with you, and people you trust. You know, and I'm surrounded by the right people, and the team that I have. Oh, I didn't even mention Mike Constable. I'm sorry. Mike runs our website. All results are posted on the website. Discount codes on the website. Everything you need is on the website, and I don't have time for that. So Mike does it. So awesome. I'm surrounded by the right people. I think we're all in the right positions, and I hope none of them leave.
Fair. That's awesome. But yeah, no, everybody has a part to play. Every part is important. And I mean, you got it all in the right places, because that's what the world is right now, is social media. It's visualization. It's communication. It's just, I love that. I love the the openness, the transparency, the quickness that you update, that's killer. Because I mean, obviously, it's what people want.
I think a big part of our success is that I came from and I still am an angler. So like I know as an angler what I want to see. So a big part of why I like the Hobie Bass Open Series and something that we've been doing since day one. When I launch, I know how much money I'm fishing for. I don't want to wonder, oh, I'm in first. What are you going to win? I don't know. We'll find out at the weigh-in. I can't stand that as an angler.
Yeah.
My guys know 10 o'clock Friday night, registration locks. 10:05, your payout's posted. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's got to be, in my opinion. There's clubs that fish, and you may be watching from an outside point of view, and you never know what first place won. You have no idea. They never post it. Don't know if they're embarrassed. Don't know if they're just not good with social media. I don't know, but they just never post it. It's crazy to me. For me, that's important.
Yeah, I agree with you. For those that get it, that photo or whatever of the big check with the money on it, look above your head. I mean, that's what gets people's eyes to bug out of their heads. I mean, it's just
I'll pull it on my phone. I wanted to see if I could show I don't know, my phone's being weird. I'm on airplane. I'm using my hotspot, but
gotcha.
No worries. We'll keep going.
No, you're good. Yeah. So all that being considered that we just talked about, everybody, what's one thing? It's a loaded question too, I know, but it could be multiple things. But like, what's one thing that you're at a tournament, you're working it, you're doing the awards, you're doing everything, you got hecklers, you got whatever, so those people in the back, had a bad day or whatever. But what's one thing that you wish just people knew about being a TD for a club? Like what's one thing that you'd wish you could just like kind of like grab them and by the shoulders and just scream to them?
Man, it's just how much time it really is outside of public view. How many phone calls did I make this week? How many sponsors did I go to lunch with? How many sponsors did I call that told me to kick rocks? How many anglers complain about something 7 days a week? I just spent about an hour talking to a guy just now while we were watching Rocky 4. My daughter's on this Rocky kick. So we were sitting there, and my wife's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I got to handle this. Like, there's so many I got to handle this moments that happen. Part of it is my own poison. I need it to be now. So when a problem or an opportunity arises, good or bad, right? Problem or opportunity, I need to handle it now. And that's a me problem. Mary's like, you can wait. It can wait. They can wait. I can't. It's got to happen now. I got to fix it, or I got to take advantage of it, one or the other. Yeah. And it borderline is a full-time job, and it's a lot of work, and I don't need to let people know that. Like, I know you asked, but I'm not asking for pity. I put this on myself.
And no, it wasn't intended to be. It wasn't intended for that. I think that people think that anybody can do this, and they think that that they could go out tomorrow and they can make a better trail because Vinny and Justin, they don't know what the heck they're doing. And I don't want to put people off on that. If you think you're the cat's meow and you can go try it, I mean,
just know what you're getting into.
Yeah. This is just an idea to like try to open people's eyes a little bit.
Same statement as before. Are you looking for a 20 to 40 person series? Easy peasy. Go for it. No worries. You need a notepad and some kayaks. It's over at that point. Are you looking for what I'm running down here, where I've had to LLC? I have to have an accountant. I have to deal with $130,000 going through a bank account. Well, that's coming out of the bank account.
I hear you.
It's just, there's different scales, and there's directors that are like, oh, this is not hard. That's cool, man. You got 25 people showing up.
Yeah, right.
So it's just, you got to think about scale when you start something. Are you looking for sponsors? Are you looking for monetary sponsors? Are you looking for prizes? Are you extremely excited about a 10% discount for your guys? Or are you extremely excited about a company who's going to put $5,000 into your championship? It's just, It's just scales of everything. And it's not a right or wrong. There's room for everyone. Like there's room for a company that is charging $300 for an entry fee. There's room for the club that has a $25 entry fee.
Sure.
And there's room for us who slide somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I don't need, I'm always here to help. I've been on podcasts where it was pretty much instructional on how to be a director. I'm always here to help. I had a guy text me tonight asking me questions about how I run things. And I'm always here to help. So if you're a new director, you can reach me on Facebook, no problem. Shoot me a message. I'll walk you through whatever you need.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk. I love bringing up philanthropy because that's my day gig. I work at a local college in their Office of Advancement for their communications department. But I love giving back. My club runs a couple charity events throughout the year. I know you have a charitable event that you do every year, so I'd love to chat with you about that. Talk about the cause and that event specifically.
Yeah. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I really need to keep better data. I'm going to tell Ryan he's got to keep better data of me. 5 or 6 years ago, we started an event where we were going to donate all the proceeds to an organization called Kayak Fishing with Christ. And my wife was starting a nonprofit called the Emerald School of Excellence. It's a recovery high school for kids battling addiction and substance abuse. So they leave their normal environment, they go through a program, and they finish out their high school degree or diploma with her at her private school.
Oh, wow.
She was starting that up. So we were looking to help them fund it and get funded. And Kayak Fishing with Christ was a sponsor at the time, doing big things in the game, So when you do a charity event, it's got to be something different. It's got to be fun. It can't be the same as the regular event, in my opinion. So we decided, let's do a kiddie rod tournament. So we had I don't know, let's just call it 50. I really don't remember. Ryan didn't track the data very well. So let's call it 50 guys show up with Barbie rods, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Paw Patrol rods.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of fools, so we all stripped them and we loaded them with like 10-pound braid. And we have $5,000 kayaks, $3,000 graphs, and we're out there fishing with 36-inch rods. I think it was under 33 inches was the rule.
Oh,
so it was hysterical. And at the end of the day, we raised X amount of dollars. We donated it. We split it. And then Kayak Fishing with Christ redonated it back to Emerald. So it all went to Emerald. So the next year.
That's amazing.
We always do this in the summer. So we're in the South. It gets really hot in August. It's miserable. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
It's hot. Sure. Fishing's tough. So we take August off from the main series and we do our charity event. So this year it's August 19th. It's on the main schedule. So that way, if you have a bad day, hey, you had a bad day for charity instead of ruining your season. So the second year we go do it again, kiddie rods again. And this time we donated all to Emerald again. It's going awesome. Well, the third year, I don't like keeping things the same. Every year I'm trying to improve. How can we get better? So I work with 2 companies down here. At the time, I have to word this right. At the time, I was working with 2 companies, BizBaits and True South Custom Lures. Terminal tackle, jig, spinnerbaits, their version of a chatterbait, and a soft plastic company in BizBaits. If you're not throwing BizBaits up in the north, you really need to. We can talk about that later. And they were like, hey, we want to be involved with the Emerald event. It's an awesome cause. The school's going to be awesome. The school was open at this point.
Okay.
So what can we do? And I was like, let's do a BizBait and True South only event. So anglers paid an entry fee. We provided them with a Ziploc full of about $100 worth of tackle.
Nice.
And we were not allowed to throw anything else. So every angler got the same amount of baits. Everything was identical. They usually make a custom bait, a custom color, something custom for the event.
Okay.
Everybody
Come
on Friday night. Yeah, dude.
This is awesome.
Last year's, it's going to be good. So this was 3 years ago.
Wow.
Friday night, we do our captain's meeting, which we don't usually do anymore because everything's Tourney X now. But Friday night, we have food, we have drinks, we have like the whole show set up. And you have to show up, check in, and get your bag of baits. And that's all you can have. And the rule we use is you can't add anything, but you can take away. Because we get guys, can I drop shot? So in the bag, you have a Ned rig and a shaky head. So guys will cut the weight off the Ned rig to use it as a drop shot hook and throw a shaky head on the bottom. So the rule we came up with is you can take away, you just can't add. No dip, no glue, no pegged weights, none of that, because it's not in the bag.
Oh my gosh.
And dude, we had a blast. We all wore green. All the trophies are green. We give away these emeralds, and we give away a native watercraft kayak every year at this event.
Wow.
And we had a blast. So the second year rolls around. And Brian, the owner of Biz Baits at the time, John, the owner of True South at the time, well, how do we make it better? And I'm like, well, damn, dude, we had 100 people show up with $0 on the line. Like, I don't know how we really get better than that. And he's like, I got an idea. Well, they came up with the Emerald School of Excellence Sassy Stick, which is a Senko style bait. It was, I need a drink. It was watermelon. Yeah, it was watermelon with green flake. So it was freaking awesome.
Wow.
And they put it out. They released it for this event. It was in the bags. So we had the Emerald School of Excellence Sassy Stick, Ned Rig bait, which is their Ned Dizzy, their Trick Worm style bait, Dizzy Diamond, Cutter Craw, which is their craw. And if you signed up early, you got a baby craw. It was the baby biz bug. All crazy. In this emerald color. And then you had an emerald.
I'm loving this so much.
You had an emerald jig. So it was like so cool. So cool. And we had like 115 people.
Wow.
So the next year rolls around. And in between these two events, these two companies actually merged. So now it was one company.
Okay.
How are we going to make it better, Vin? I said, dude, I don't know, man. So they put out a custom Queen City colored spinner bait last year for this event. We had the emerald green bait in there, and we had another color bait in the package as well. So you got two colors, pack of shaky heads, pack of Ned Rig heads. We would give 2 worm hooks. You just got 2 worm hooks. You got 1 jig. No, you got 2 jigs. So anyway, so everybody gets the same bag of stuff. And we end up donating between $3,000 and $4,000 every year to the Emerald School of Excellence. I personally take as much time as I can. I take some of the Emerald kids out on a fishing trip. We have Emerald kayaks in the garage from Native Watercraft. We take some kids out on the water. I've taken about 20 of them to a pond, and we all just went bluegill fishing. These are high school.
Awesome. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So this year, I don't know what the Emerald event's going to look like, but somewhere along the same lines, we've had a really good time with it. I wish I had some of the gems with me. I should have grabbed some of the gems. They're in my daughter's room, but they're paperweights, but they look like big diamonds.
Okay. Yeah.
And I swear to you, if you had a choice, if these guys had a choice to take home $1,000 or this diamond, they would take the diamond.
They'd take the diamond.
Dude, they would take the diamond. We do plaques for top 10. We do diamonds for top 5. We do a kayak, and the way we do it, it's not the best guy to win the kayak, and it's not completely random. You fish for more tickets. So if you put a limit in, you get 3 tickets. If you fish the event, you get 1 ticket. If you finish first, you get 10 more tickets. Second, 5 more tickets, so on and so on. So you may have more tickets if you won the event.
No way. Yeah.
The first year, I think the kid just fished. I think he skunked. He was like 15, 16 years old, and he won a brand new Native Watercraft. So,
no way.
It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun, and we all have a good time. We do big food and drinks and chips, and we always have a great venue. And hopefully this year, it's 125, 130 people again.
I hope so. So.
Yeah. It'll be hot.
I love that. I mean, that's what it's all about, in my opinion, is that is giving back to the community, giving back to a cause that people care about. But I mean, dude, you were rocking it with the partnerships and building with sponsors and partners, and that people don't get that in my book. A lot of people don't understand the amount of work it takes to make both sides of that partnership happy.
Yes.
And it's a constant thing, and that's really, really cool. You are definitely excelling in that.
Thank you. I'm surrounded by great people and great small business owners who want to be a part of us. And, we keep it reasonably priced to be a part of the club. And hopefully in most situations, you're getting an ROI, whether you are a product sponsor or a monetary sponsor. Hopefully you're seeing an ROI. You're getting on jerseys, you're getting on 3 beautiful, huge banners that we have up at everything we do.
Nice.
Our banner is 10 feet by 9 feet. So your logo,
Jeez.
if you're on the top, is 2 feet by 2 feet. So that's a big banner. That's a big spot. So, you get plaques with your logo on it. We offer a ton of marketing and hopefully, and it has been, but hopefully companies are happy and continue to come back and support the club and the angler and me. And, it's a fun ride. And I'm a teacher myself. You mentioned you're in a college. So I teach full time and awesome. I do most of my sponsor hustle through the summer because that's when I have a little bit of free time.
Yeah.
So we start our next year plans usually in July. I'm usually banging down sponsor doors in August.
Okay.
And we start January 1 usually with an online event.
That's awesome. So let me pop this up because you sent this to me. I'm going to share this real quick, and I want you to give, just shout outs to where people are due, but of who makes this trail worthwhile. I mean, you have some amazing partners here. You can shout out at everybody, but I mean, who's going above and beyond for you guys?
So our premier sponsor, like our diamond level, is Native Watercraft. They're behind everything we do. We're going to give out at least 5 kayaks this season. We gave away 5 last year. So I might be lying. So I think we're going to give away. No, I think it's 5. I'm sorry. 5 kayaks this year. Wow. All different ways. That ticket thing we just mentioned, we're going to use that again at the Emerald event. We're going to give a kayak away at the championship, but not necessarily to the champion. So if you qualify, we put you on a wheel and we random spin the wheel just for qualifying for the championship. Now, it's no easy feat to qualify for the championship. So if you're in it, you deserve a shot, and we give away a Slayer Max for that. We give away a kayak on something called the Never Give Up Award, and that's an angler who fished all year long but still didn't qualify for the championship.
Wow,
so
really?
We put, I think last year it was like 30 some odd anglers who qualified for that award. So we put their name on a wheel, we spun it, and somebody went home with a brand new Slayer Max 10 and a half.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What did I say? Championship, Never Give Up, charity event. We have a kayak going home at our Lake James Western event this year. We're going to do our venue weigh-in at Big Adventures, which is the store of Native Watercraft. So, they're amazing. They're a huge part of what we do. They are at the top of the in-person live banner. So what you're showing here for people who are watching, this is our group cover. These are sponsors who help us raise our payouts, pay for food, pay for plaques, stuff like that. So Boondocks, they were with us last year, but they really upped the game this year, and they actually are the reason we were able to expand into the South. They are our premier Southern sponsor. Yep.
That's awesome. Good people over there.
Oh, they're great. They're amazing. Big Adventures, I previously mentioned as the store/mother company of Native Watercraft. They are the premier sponsor of the Western Division. So they brought us out to the mountains where they are. That's a beautiful logo. It really looks good next to mine there. And so we're excited to do that. And then we have Academy Sports and Outdoors. They are our Angler of the Year title sponsor this year. We also run a receipt program every month. If you go spend at least $1 at Academy Sports and Outdoors, send me a picture of it. We put your name on that wheel that we've mentioned numerous times now, and we give away a $50 gift card every month to Academy Sports and Outdoors. That's on top of all the other chaos that we do.
That's awesome.
So, like, if you spend up to $50, you get 1 spot on the wheel. At $100, you get 2 spots. So I should say up to $99. At $100, you get 2 spots. At $150, you get 3 spots, and so on and so on. So if you go in there, like we've had somebody buy Mega Live, $1,500 divided by 50. He was on the wheel. Yeah. He had half the wheel covered. So, and then, I mean, we'd be here all night if I went through every one of these. But these guys are the reason we are what we are. Rock Outdoors is our premier kayak dealer. They sell native watercraft, Old Town, Hobie. So we do 2 events up at their venue, and they sponsor the team division as well.
Nice.
Beautiful, beautiful store. Like that store, you walk in and it's just like the light is shining, and it's amazing. So huge. I don't know how many thousands of square feet, but tremendous. So
oh wow, yeah.
They have pontoon. They have 10 pontoons in there. They got 10 bass boats in there. Like it's a big deal. And they're very, very big with us, and we love them. And then awesome. Net Financial is our Big Bass sponsor. So Big Bass is included in your entry fee. It's free, and it pays out $300 every month.
Nice.
All right. Net Financial's taking care of that for us. And then, I mean, we could go everywhere. Yeah. We got tackle shops on there. We have apparel designers. We have 2 real estate agents on there. We have multiple tackle shops on there. The Emerald School Excellence on there. We have custom rod builders, custom lure makers.
That's awesome.
We have
man.
A few chambers and cities that we visit. They bring us to their city. They're on there. So huge shout out to everyone. And
that's huge.
For the people who are watching, these are not all the sponsors. There's another 3 rows to this that are on the live banner. These are, as a director, you'll understand this. These are higher levels. When you sell different spots in sponsorship, part of each spot is this digital banner. So
I love that.
And I can send you, I'll send you a shot of the 3 live banners we use.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think, it's really cool. You guys, I mean, that's a full-time gig right there, getting all of those people, keeping them organized, keeping them happy. That's another level, man.
Thanks. Yeah, it's all good though. It's all worth it. The guys, you got to put a product out that guys want to come fish. The market is saturated. So if you piss someone off, they're going to go fish somewhere else. It's 100%, that easy.
100%. But, hey, I got, I want you to give some shout outs to people or anything that you want personally and professionally, if you want to. I mean, I know you kind of just did, but that, anybody else that you want to, but, before that, I want to hear, we talked a lot, just about being a TD in general. What's your favorite thing about being a tournament director?
I really enjoy when either the brand new guy or the guy who's been around for a few years and never cut a check, I really enjoy calling his name and getting him up on the stage. And that's not to say I don't enjoy calling the hammer out that's going to catch every month, right? Because that's awesome. But like last event, we had a couple brand new guys to the club get up on stage, get their plaque, get their money. And like that's exciting for them. It's exciting for their family who's watching. It's exciting for their YouTube channel. It's exciting for me. And believe it or not, my daughter's like, Daddy, he's never cashed before, and that's a cool moment. So I got to say, there's a lot of good that comes with the director. I feel like we maybe harped on some of the bad, but, and it happens. Time is usually in a bad side of things, but there's a lot of good. And I really do enjoy seeing the new guy or the guy who's busted his tail. The guy who fished every event and qualified for the championship on his last cast, So like those stories are what make it all worth it and make me come back every year.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair to say, I mean, we did talk about the amount of work, and that's what this show really is kind of about, but I mean, we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't love it. Right. Like, I mean, we would be doing something else if it was really all bad. But
my wife says it all the time. If I'm stressed out or something happened, it didn't go well, she's like, this is self-inflicted, right?
Yep.
You don't have to do this, right? And I'm like, I just shake my head. In my mind, I'm like, shut up and go away. But
oh man, I can relate.
It's true, man. We do this to ourselves, right? Yeah. We do it for the city. We do it for the state. And for me, I'm doing it countrywide. We didn't really talk about that. I'm doing it for people across the country through the Native Watercraft series, right? So I'm a big part of what we're doing there. So it's a lot, man, but it's great, and I enjoy it. And like I just said, seeing the no-name guy that you never heard of, who's not YouTube famous, cut a check, makes it all worth it.
Dude, I'm all about that. Vinny, anybody else you want to give a shout out to or anything like that?
Man, this part's tough because I know I'll forget someone and I'll get a text message, but Anyone who's in my circle, anyone who either helps behind the scenes, helps at a venue, or anything. Anybody who chooses to fish with Queen City, because like I just said, you have options, and I understand that, and I understand it's my job to make us the option. So I'll keep doing that for you as long as you keep coming to fish with us. And Native Watercraft is tremendous in my life as far as the series, as far as personal relationships. I've been fishing out of a Native for almost 9 years now. You know, I'm pro staff level with them. I help them run the Native series national level.
Nice.
We're expanding that this year, so we don't have one up as far as you, but we do have one in Pennsylvania, and we'll have that again.
Pennsylvania.
It's on the Susky.
Yep, on the Susky.
Yep. Right. So, and then we just added. When is this show gonna air?
It'll be probably next Saturday. So
I'm gonna say something now because it'll be released by then. We just added a new part of the country. We're gonna go hit the official southeast, because apparently the Carolinas is not southeast enough.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go down to Alabama on the beautiful Lake Gunnersville for our 6th installment this season of the No Limit series. So I'm pretty pumped up about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. No. So you're doing multiple other series too. On top of that's cool, man.
Yeah, I got a good team there too, man. My Native guys are amazing. We got a really tight-knit group chat going on, and it feels like they're all here in the living room hanging out when we start talking and planning. But we're all over the country, from Oregon, California, me in the Carolinas, Pennsylvania, and Michigan.
Okay.
And so now, I'm going to personally run the Alabama one. I'm going to go down there and do that.
Nice.
And then I'm working on a 7th location, but I haven't nailed down the details just yet.
Nah, I love that. Well, Vinny, thank you so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun. QCKayakBassFishing.com. I didn't get a chance to put it on there, but I'll put it underneath. I'll put the link down. Check them out, guys, if you're down in North Carolina and any of the Carolinas. Holy moly. Jeez Louise.
We have guys from Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, West Virginia, both Carolinas. And then, if you're looking at Tourney X, when we do our co-host event with the Hobie Bass Open Series, you'll see states from all over, because we're we're a well-paying side pot. So it all works out. But yeah, we do encompass a bunch of states down here. So good time, cheap entry fee, food provided, drinks provided, and big payouts, guaranteed money. Yeah,
I'll have to hit you up in June, man.
Let me know. June 24th, we'll be on Norman. 5 years ago, I would have told you Norman fish is tough in the summer, but last year Norman absolutely showed out in the summer, and that's actually the reason we're going back. So, yeah, let me know. As long as you don't mind pedaling a Native, or if you have your stuff with you, either way.
Yeah, no, I'll have it in my truck. But yeah, man, I think we'll keep talking about that. Talking about that. I'll start laying the groundwork for my wife now. But hey, thanks again, man. It's been a great director's cut. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey guys, Justin with NYKBF, featuring the next tournament trail in our series.